Of the Portage City Plan Commission to order. If we can all rise to say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Cherry, can you call roll, please?
Jim Wiseman.
Here.
Bill Moran.
Here.
Brent Wright.
Here.
Carissa Childers.
Here.
Sam LeBoy.
Here.
Deb Ekdahl.
Here.
Jeremiah Montgomery.
Here.
Victoria Vasquez.
Here.
Alonzo Garcia.
Here.
100%.
Thank you.
That is awesome.
Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from our July 6th meeting? If so, do I have a motion to approve and accept?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Are there any reports from the officers or other standing committees?
No reports.
Thank you. Well, tonight we have some new business. We have quite a few things. I thank everybody for being here and joining us today. So today we have a petition for rezoning from Redwood USA. If they are available to come up. Oh, hi. Table, please. Thank you. I was looking for Kelly. You don't look like Kelly.
I am not Kelly. I'm an associate of Kelly's.
How do you do?
She was unable to attend, so she got me out of the batter's box and
Okay.
told me
And
to
can
go
you
to
please
bat.
state your name? I may have missed
Yes.
it.
My name is Gregory Thurman,
How do you
Vice
do?
President of Acquisitions for Redwood USA, and my address is 7007 East Pleasant Valley Road, 44131.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
As I mentioned, I'm Vice President of Acquisition for Redwood USA. I've worked on no less than 40 different projects in several states in my capacity with Redwood. I've been with them for 12 years. I've seen many iterations of our product, and right now we're running on a really nice product that meets a lot of criteria for a lot of comp plans that we use to decide whether or not we're the right fit for the property or not. But a little about Redwood. We've been in business 35 years. We've developed no less than 23,000 units in 9 states and approximately 200 different neighborhoods. We build exclusively single-story product to date. Those products include an attached garage that allows you to pull in the garage, unload your groceries, and walk into the kitchen. So we're a very unique apartment, if you want to use that term, but that's how we're classified as multifamily apartments. The building commissioner will probably classify us as single-story townhome. So that will be the permitting process if we get that far. But we cater to an empty nester. Our demographics prove that about half of our home renters are empty nesters 51 and over. We have a very high retention rate compared to the national average. About 21% of our folks stay with us 5 years or longer, which is pretty remarkable for apartment living. But we are proposing a site over, I believe it's on Route 6 or US 6. And it's kind of in the middle of nothing right now. I know across the street, there's a couple of small businesses that will really appreciate having 100 or so units that can walk to their business and support them. This is the concept plan. Well, this is the site. The dialysis is on the corner. The dialysis business is on the corner. Across the street is State Farm, self-storage units. All of these businesses will benefit from a Redwood neighborhood in close proximity, as we're proposing. The frontage of the property is proposed to remain a commercial entity, and we're in favor of that. There will be an access drive off Swanson Road, as you can see on the plan there. This is a proof of concept that gives us a yield plan of approximately 150 units. With straight zoning, we'll make an application so that you get a chance to see the preliminary and final development plan. But this is a location that suits the Redwood demographic, and we're happy to be here. We have quite a few Redwood neighborhoods up and down the highways. I've worked on things from Portage, almost, Lake Michigan, down through Indianapolis, all the way down into Evansville. So we're very, very familiar with the Indiana market and are very successful with that. Was there any other slides that you think we should cover? And will there be a presentation by staff?
Well, not by us. It was someone that Kelly had sent, but I thought you were going to present.
Okay, that's fine. So she sent you a slide presentation?
She did, but it wasn't attached to where we would have the ability to do.
Okay, so we adjust and overcome, right? I can pause for a second to see if there's any questions at this point.
Well, we'd like to hear your presentation first, and then we'll conduct our public hearing after that.
Okay, I was counting on a slide stack, but, all right. If we're going to take a minute, I guess. So that's pretty good. That's a picture of our signage that we market at the public street. These signs are universal and used in all of our locations. So about us, about Redwood, we've already covered that we've built in 200 neighborhoods, 23,000 units. We have never sold one of our neighborhoods, so everything we've bought in the last 35 years is in our portfolio. That's a big deal because we manage all of our properties, we operate all of our properties, and they're all very universal in appeal and look because of that. Here's the 9 states. That does not include Pittsburgh, and who would want to talk about them anyway? But anyway, we got 9 states that we currently operate in, and we're expanding slowly but surely and methodically. This is a slide that depicts some of the things I've already said about the average age of our Redwood residents. We do appeal And I'm going to say that since COVID or sometime around then, we began appealing to young professionals that have decided they don't want to put their money into a fee simple ownership and have started renting with us. So in every one of our communities that I've gone through, I'll see first responders vehicles, I'll see graduate students that are studying for their doctors or nursing degrees. We see pilots. So we see a nice group of young professionals that are adding to our market share. Another important feature for us is because we are senior-oriented design, we have approximately 7 children per 100 homes. I've done a dozen case studies in different communities throughout those 9 states, and that is our average. And half of those children are already in the school district, so we're a very low load on the school system, which is a benefit to most communities. I've actually had one community ask me to try to get more children to boost their school system, but that's a rarity if we do attract children. Oh, a button. So this is a little bit in the weeds. It's demos, demographics that we use to study and determine whether or not Redwood would be suitable in that location. This is one of those areas. And our rents, this is probably a good time to talk about rents. Our rents will vary approximately $2,500 to $3,500 a month. And that's everything for a 1, 2, or 3 bedroom unit. So I wish we could be more affordable, but we do have a demographic segment that will rent these out as fast as we build them. So we're confident that will happen here as well. A little bit about our product here. There's a picture and a patio overlooking a retention pond. We typically will feature a retention pond that is upgraded with a fountain and/or some amenity as required by the code or the subdivision regulations. Every unit has a patio or a deck at the rear door for outdoor living, and our exteriors include stone accents, shake siding details, and now we have a board and batten detail that we've integrated into our plans of late. The interiors are pretty special. The 1-bedroom unit is 900 plus square foot. The 2-bedroom units are 1,300, and the 3-bedroom units are approximately 1,600 square feet. So these live very much like a single-family, single-story home. And some of the amenities inside are granite countertops. Every unit has a front door of their own, no hallways or anything are shared. Vaulted ceilings, Energy Star certified, electrical components with lighting. All of our units have a high-efficiency HVAC system. We meet very high and strict standards for energy usage. This is just a quick model, a photo on the left side there. The floor plan, one of several that's available, is a forest wood and a willow wood. But you can see the vaulted ceilings, the LED lighting, the stainless steel appliances, and the granite countertops there. LVT flooring throughout the unit. Thank you. More units that we offer, all with 2-car attached garages, like we mentioned, with direct access into the kitchen. The top unit there is our latest that we've built in several communities now. That's compared with local units that you can see in the nearby neighborhood. And it was just a comparison to show how compatible we are with some of the existing residents' homes in the nearby areas. Just more examples there. And back to the site location. I don't have anything else to say about the site location unless others have questions, and we'll answer those. And that's our concept plan that we looked at previously.
Thank you very much. So at this time, I'm going to open up the public hearing. The hearing is now open. Is there anybody here to speak for or against the Redwood proposal for their petition for rezoning? Is there anybody here to speak for or against the petition for rezoning? Is there anybody here to speak for or against the petition for Redwood's rezoning? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Are there any questions from the board?
I'll direct this towards staff. So this parcel of land is just north of Swanson Trails?
Yes.
It's south.
No, it's
north.
north.
It's north. Okay.
The only access is from Swanson Road in and out of the development?
That is a concept at this point, so we can work on that with the fire marshal and see what is ultimately decided, so we're flexible in that manner. Thank you.
Another question I'd have, along the area of the south side of the dialysis on the north end of your development, aesthetically, what would you do there as far as shrubbery or fencing or something so that they remain their privacy?
Which ones?
On the north end of the development? On the backside, I believe that's the dialysis on the corner there?
So we have mounds shown just on this concept here, and those will be landscaped, and we'll have to meet some sort of buffer requirement in the zoning ordinance, I believe.
Thank you.
If the board would entertain some questions from me? Okay. So my questions aren't really intended to discourage development within the city, but rather to try to ensure that the board has a complete understanding of how this rezoning could impact the city's long-term planning, fiscal, and economic interests. With that said, the report indicates that the comprehensive plan envisions low-density, multifamily residential in this particular area. However, the parcel itself is currently zoned as commercial. So could someone explain why an increase to a medium-density zoning is being recommended instead, and what planning analysis supports that departure from the future land use? So in short, simply stating, it is currently commercial zoned with the potential of it being envisioned as low density, but yet the petition is also recommending in their rezoning for medium density. So how would that be more favorable to do that with our future land use?
So commercial is it's noted as a more dense use. Right now, it's not the most dense commercial, but it's commercial. If we are going to allow or recommend or approve any type of residential, normal zoning patterns, as far as density, go from commercial to higher density residential all the way down to single-family R2, R1. So anything next to commercial, you want a higher density, multifamily type use. Question is that something you agree with?
Okay. So then also with this being already currently zoned commercial, even though, so we're looking at 30.15 acres, and even though you're considering maintaining 3.8 acres for commercial, how would that change then, how would that change benefit the community if we now are shrinking our commercial availability of land use to residential? And how will that then impact our long-term tax base and any future employment opportunities with that change?
That's a great question. I faced that many, many years. With the boarded-up commercial that is established on this side of the road, we are preserving some chance of viability for commercial usage in front of our community. The property tax base with our community will be around $35 million, which I doubt it would be half of that for a commercial use. So we stand up approximately $1 million worth of property tax base for every 4 units we build. So the net of this proposal compared to what's there now, which has obviously failed previously to now, and probably for many years before that, this would be a substantial enhancement of the use of that property and very appropriate to transition from a commercial use along Highway 6 into the single family to the south. And if you look at the density, we're below 5 DUA. That's borderline low density in most jurisdictions. So I'm not sure what the exact number is or what was used to calculate what low to medium to high density it is. But this is an exceptional opportunity to capture both housing units and commercial property that may survive and be viable up there on that frontage, which is not on a corner. It's a mid-block commercial space. So it'll attract small businesses at best, in my opinion. Sorry about that.
Certainly. And so also with current development that's going on that corridor on Swanson, has there been adequate analysis and surveying the potential growth for the population that would be occupying these residential units as far as our public safety, streets, schools?
So this is part of the city, and C2 is already a high-density use. And this was actually master planned and comp planned for this use. This is actually a lower density use and lower density as compared to other multifamily zoning. So,
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the board?
I have a question. Hi. So with the rent costing about $2,500 to $3,500 a month, is that including utilities of any sort, or is it dependent on the, like, what?
That
Lease
includes the unit, the maintenance-free lifestyle, and the water and utilities are separated, and they're paid by the home renters. It's just like living in a home for the most part. And I did want to make one correction. We do show 2 entries into this. There's one in the midsection and the one in the south section there between the mounds. So it's just a correction. We're not applying for this exact concept plan, but that's typically what we'll show for the final development plan.
Do we have any more questions from the board? None?
yeah, please remember whatever recommendation, it's either favorable or unfavorable to city council.
Correct. Are we good? So we're, Oh, go ahead. Well, do you still have a question, or, okay? No, we did. Yeah. Mhm.
In the comprehensive plan, that it is as of right now, that is shown to be mixed residential and commercial. So there's a certain percentage that the comp plan calls for this particular area.
Mhm.
So it matches what the comprehensive plan is, identifies for this particular area.
Mhm. So seeing that there isn't any further discussion, does anybody have a motion to place on the floor?
I'll make a motion that we send a favorable recommendation to the Common Council with the contingencies that were placed in the staff report.
Second.
Just to clarify what's on the staff report, the contingency is a subdivision process for the two parcels is provided and approved, or the property reverts back to C2 zoning. Sorry, who seconded that?
Beth?
Right.
Mr. Terry, can you do individual roll call on that vote?
Jim Wiseman,
Yes.
Bill Moran,
Abstain.
Brent Wright,
Yes.
Carissa Childers,
Yes.
Sam LaBoy,
Yes.
Deb Ekdahl,
Yes.
Jeremiah Montgomery,
Yes.
Victoria Vasquez,
No.
Alonso Garcia.
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
and sorry for the bump in the front end of that. I thought we were ready for it. That was perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The staff would recommend, due to some paperwork issues from the petitioner, that P-04-26 be continued to date certain. What is the next date, Dina? So continuing to date certain of September 8th, 2026. A motion for that.
I'll take staff's recommendation and make a motion to table the lake acquisition until September 8th.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on our agenda, come on up, gentlemen. We have a petition for zoning, change of zoning from Dayton Street Partners. Welcome,
Thank you. Thank you.
whenever you're ready.
Let's see if technology's going to be ready. Well, all right, we're not there yet. When it works, it's a wonderful thing. Good evening. My name is Todd Leith. I'm attorney here on behalf of the petitioners. I'm joined by Howard Wedren, who is the managing partner of Dayton Street Partners. And we come to you with two requests, or two cases. It's really intertwined. We're talking about the plattage and the zoning of a planned unit development. So our property is approximately 38, and nearly 39 acres on the south side of I-94, west of Willow Creek, and it's outlined in red in my slide here being shown. The current use of the property is farmland. Your staff report lists some of the different adjoining uses. Obviously, it's very unique in the fact that the entire north frontage is I-94. We're in the middle of a business park essentially, on all four sides or all three sides. This is the GIS. It was one of the handouts from what we did earlier, and a little bit more about what we did earlier. I know your staff report talks about that. We're here seeking a planned development to go from its existing zoning of business park, or BP, to a planned development, BP, under your planned development ordinance, under your zoning code, and then a preliminary plan development as well. This requires a bit of history. So in 2021, we applied for a similar, in many ways, identical project for a planned development on the same property with the same orientation. And at that time, I represented Howard and his group, and we came to you with a GIS printout like this, and we showed that it was BP zoning, and we showed a concept plan like this, and we received your favorable recommendation, and then the city council adopted the ordinance. So the timeline was, we had a sketch plan in May of 2021. So let's think back a minute about what was going on in 2021. We don't talk about COVID so much, but in 2021, we certainly were. And Howard and his group were here. We were probably, some of us, still wearing masks and so forth. And we received our sketch plan review from staff. We went on to Planning Commission, and then had a hearing. City Council adopted the preliminary development plan, and we had a secondary plat that was recorded later in 2022. From there, Howard and his group went to market the property on the heels of COVID, and your ordinance doesn't allow for those rezonings like any other rezoning. If we went from, for example, the petition before us, I know there was a condition placed upon that approval, but without that condition, the new zoning change goes on in perpetuity. Not so with a PUD. So because we didn't develop in the 3 years that your ordinance provides for in section 99.12, it reverts back to the BP zoning. So that's what happened. Because of COVID, and a little bit of history, when groups such as Howard's take on a project as significant as this project, they're trying to find tenants who will come in. There's 3 separate buildings, and we're not going to find likely one tenant to take all 3 buildings. There's going to be a tenant that will take down 1 building, or maybe 2. Some of them will take down all 3, but usually it's piecemeal. And one of the things we'll talk about is when we do the subdivision, if we do a subdivision, we're going to defer to that based upon the number of developers who come to Howard and want to take part of our DSP Crossroads project. So we're trying to find those tenants. Those tenants have lenders, and sometimes those tenants have partners who have lenders. Lots of parties have to come together, and we tried to do that in 3 years following COVID, and it just didn't. We needed more time. So we're back. And so it reverts back to the BP. And so why are we here tonight? We're here tonight to essentially ask you to, with the same concept plan, or nearly identical concept plan, to reapprove it. The concept plan is the same. It's 3 buildings. The footprint's the same. We'll talk a little bit about these changes. Again, 3 proposed commercial industrial buildings. The preliminary development plan has a table of uses. It has all of the same requirements and so forth that the original plan in 2021 had. The change, the most significant change, is Coca-Cola Avenue and Marine Drive are to be vacated. We have to appear in front of the Board of Works. There's going to be 2 cul-de-sacs that are required that weren't required before because of that. All of that is subject to Board of Works approval. So with your approval tonight, the City Council's adoption of the preliminary development plan, we come right back here. And when we do that, we have to follow the rules of the plan. And what that plan is, if I laid the old plan and the new plan side by side for you on this slide, and you can see the footprints the same, the orientation's the same. Those cul-de-sacs and so forth only change, really, from a meaningful review of this plan. So following 2021, we had a final development plan back here at the Planning Commission, and that resulted in a recorded document, not a small undertaking for us to get there, and then a plat. And so when we come back to you with our new final development plan, we'll have to do a couple things differently. And that has to do with going to the Board of Works, making sure that the engineering department is now happy with the cul-de-sacs, the rights-of-way, the radius of those cul-de-sacs, and all of those things. So we've got DRC to worry about, we've got Board of Works to worry about, before we even come back to you with these plats and plans for your approval. We've got our work cut out for us. The hard part, frankly, starts after the City Council approves the zoning ordinance, because then the real number crunching and dialing it in. We go from concept plan to engineered plans in that point. The thing that you need to be most concerned about or take some comfort in is a provision in your planned unit development or planned development ordinance that says that once the City Council adopts the preliminary development plan, we don't have much other than a zoning approval. That's why we have to get all of the engineering locked down, go to the Board of Works, go to the DRC, and get the final details before we can go back and record that plat of subdivision or that plat and record the final development plan. These documents go away, the new ones come in. And so your ordinance says, and I highlighted it in yellow, prior to moving earth or any construction, applicant should get final plan approval and secondary plat approval from the Plan Commission. And so we will be doing that. The only caveat is the plat approval that we get will probably be just one lot, because we don't know whether we're subdividing 2 buildings into one lot and 1 building into its own lot, whether we're going to have 3 separate lots, and only the market will tell Howard and his partners how we want to come and ask for the actual subdivision. So at first blush, it may very well be a subdivision of 1 lot with 3 buildings on it, and that meets your code. We just have to make sure that the Board of Works and the DRC are all happy with that. Fire department, police department, sanitary, all of the agencies that are part of DRC have to be comfortable with all of the engineering that is the background of a typical subdivision. Whether it's a 3-lot subdivision or a 1-lot subdivision, the sewers don't matter. It's all gravity, and that's important. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that might come from the public or from you. Howard will assist me in doing that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'll open up the public hearing. Is there anybody here to speak for or against the change of zoning for the Dayton Street Partners petition? Thank you. Can you please state your name? Mr. Resident?
I'm trying to figure out which sheet I need. PD or the Z20?
Z.
Okay. Michael Cooper, 5455 Clem Road, here in Portage. I would like to add a date into their history timeline. On November 3rd, 2023, Stepping Stones Early Learning Center opened as a daycare center at the entrance to this business park. And when that was proposed, I raised concerns about putting that type of facility in a business park, particularly since the parcel kind of cat-a-corner from the proposed, at that time, proposed daycare center, had previously, before COVID, just immediately before COVID closed, it was a electroplating plant with an industrial use. Now, it's a business park that was kind of it was masquerading as a business park. It was kind of probably pushing the industrial side a little close, getting those type of permits from air quality permits. The concern I have is that putting in a new business park so close to a place where children are outside, where children are present during the day, poses, I think, some significant risk to an existing tenant there in the business park that is at the front there. And it's going to be like basically one property away from where this facility is. So I would ask the board to consider, what are the uses and if there's some significant restrictions that need to be made on these uses in this
4 years ago.
So the old approval in 2021 just, went up in smoke in November of '24 based upon your existing ordinance. Any approvals that you would make tonight, I would believe, would have that same restriction.
That is correct.
What kind of tenants are you guys looking to get there? Do you guys have anybody in mind, or is this like, hey, let's get it approved and maybe somebody will buy it?
Yeah, so a little bit of history. When we originally received the favorable approval, we moved forward with full design and permitting of a 227,000 square foot building, purchased our precast panels that make up our walls, our roofing system, because at the time, if you recall during COVID, it was very difficult to get product from, supply chains were shut down. We pre-purchased everything. Capital markets, the world kind of fell apart. We pulled back on a project, had to sell off a lot of the material that we had and started from scratch again. At that time, much like we are now, we're trying to attract light manufacturing distribution to this site. That's the highest and best use. These are Class A buildings that will attract a credit tenancy, and that's typically what we're focused on, is a tenant that is high credit, that has a responsible workforce, that is high skilled in most cases, coming from within the community, or certainly over the border and coming into Indiana to work. And this will be, landscaped with the appropriate amount of parking for those employees, the appropriate amount of loading and unloading for each of the respective buildings to attract those users.
So inside those buildings, are you planning to have any sort of overhead cranes, like possibly moving coils? You're going to have truck traffic coming in and out, like semi-traffic?
Yeah, they're always inherent with a building like this. There will be semi-truck traffic. Overhead cranes, these buildings are not designed for overhead cranes. Like if it was a steel service center where they're moving coils or slitting, that's not what these are designed for. Those are typically kind of longer prefabricated metal buildings that are very purpose-built by the tenant themselves. But we are a developer, so we would be self-developing these buildings in most cases.
Now, Tom, right there on Willow Creek Road, I'm trying to think, Coca-Cola, because where would the entrance be at? Yeah, I just wanted to see, because I know there's one entrance past Willow Creek that's pretty dangerous intersection, and with having semi-traffic coming in and out, I just wanted to make sure that was I was thinking about the right location.
Technology on the shoestring.
There you go. That's okay.
Sorry. Coca-Cola Drive right here, so they would be accessing the property right up here.
There is a light at 20 for them to, the trucks to safely, that's, okay.
Yeah.
There is, and that's the location of the daycare that the gentleman spoke of.
Yeah, I'll add that we are surrounded by all distribution and manufacturing
Yeah,
throughout that
Hinckley
park.
Water is right next to the,
Raised
I know
holdings.
exactly where you're at.
yep.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board?
Question, I thought I heard you say, and I hope it's wrong, that you are still soliciting occupants, tenants for this. Do you anticipate change of configuration of the buildings if, for say, you don't get the occupants that you are looking for?
So we are not marketing it right now because our zoning has lapsed. So if you drive by the site, our brokers had a sign up that's been taken down because our zoning went away. So we pulled that down until we get back through the process. Then, if it's approved, we'll then start marketing the property appropriately through our brokerage firm. Will the footprints change? Not much. This is probably the highest and best use in terms of a layout for a site for industrial or warehousing use. If you look at if you can turn the page, you can see.
I don't have
Oh, we
control
can,
anymore.
okay. The docks on the 227,000 square foot buildings, so those truck courts face each other. That's the highest and best use. So typically it's around 30% coverage for one of those buildings. So you can get, again, the right amount of employee parking and then the right amount of loading docks to service the building.
As far as process is concerned, assuming we receive the approval of the city council, we then go to the final, and that's where we lock down that concept plan into a final development plan. At that point in time, we're telling you exactly how it's gonna play out. If Howard and his group find somebody who wants to take it down in a different fashion after the final approval is approved and recorded, then we're right back here with an amendment.
That's a great point. It could end up being a single tenant on one lot that occupies that building, or they could occupy, to Todd's earlier point, 2 buildings or 3 buildings, depending on their exact requirement. But we would
There's-
have to come back in front of you for that approval.
One thing I hope you all be mindful of is that there's actually a mobile home community that lives, it's Cod Drive, Marine Drive.
Yes.
If there's going to be some sort of berm or shrubbery that to protect, that, separate that community from the industrial part.
Yeah, there are required setbacks that we are adhering to per City of Portage code.
And buffering to go along
Yeah.
with that.
Thank you.
Any more questions from the board?
So this would be the same zoning classification as what a Miraplex is, correct?
Primarily, correct. Again, this is a favorable or unfavorable recommendation to City Council on this petition.
So at this point, if there are no more questions, do I have a motion?
I'd like to make the motion to give a favorable recommendation for Z-04-26 as proposed.
Second?
Okay. Mr. Cherry, can you do roll, please?
Jim Wiseman,
Yes.
Bill Moran,
Yes.
Brent Wright,
Yes.
Carissa Childers,
Yes.
Sam LaBoy,
Yes.
Deb Ekdahl,
Yes.
Jeremiah Montgomery,
Yes.
Victoria Vasquez,
Yes.
Alonzo Garcia.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's one more case, if I'm not mistaken.
So we get through that one.
So my presentation covered both, honestly. So I'm willing to incorporate my earlier comments into the record at this point. And if you need to solicit comments from the public for hearing purposes to protect the record, that's fine too.
Now, this is on the petition PD-02-26, just to be clear. Looking for a preliminary plan development.
And this is a public hearing.
Yes. So I'll open up the public hearing. Is there anybody here to speak for or against the petitioner? Good evening.
Good evening, Michael Cooper. Can I do the same thing, Scott?
Without any objection from myself?
Yes, okay. Okay, thank you.
So to be clear, the concerns from the public, from the prior comment, were regarding the daycare at the business park area, the concern of putting more businesses where children are present and whether or not it poses any risk. There were also some concerns about air quality and so forth. So and if there are any other uses for the property. So if there are any comments from the board or from the presenter to address that.
Nothing from myself. I mean, the first case talked about the uses. The second case, this case, is really talking about lot lines, subdivision.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
I'd like to make a motion to give a favorable recommendation for PD-02-26 as proposed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Terry, can you please do roll?
Jim Wiseman,
Yes.
Bill Moran,
Yes.
Brent Wright,
Yes.
Carissa Childers,
This isn't a recommendation. But it's not a recommendation.
The first petition was
Yeah.
zoning. That is a recommendation.
Yeah,
The
this
second
was-
petition is plannage. You have exclusive jurisdiction under state law and your local ordinance for the file.
Did you say recommendation?
He did-
Okay,
did.
so it'd be approval, yeah.
Approval.
Was the second agree?
Second.
Okay. I'll reread. Jim
you.
Wiseman,
Yes.
Bill Moran,
Yes.
Brent Wright,
Yes.
Carissa Childers,
Yes.
Sam LaBoy,
Yes.
Deb Ekdahl,
Yes.
Jeremiah Montgomery,
Yes.
Victoria Vasquez,
Yes.
Alonso Garcia.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Outstanding. Thank you very much for your time and attention tonight.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Simon CRE, CHS 4 LLC for P-03-26, seeking primary plat approval to replat Lot 2 at Landing of Portage. Good evening.
Good evening. I've also got a presentation prepared. I don't know if I need to switch it up. We're keeping you busy tonight.
If we had budget, we'd do a remote AB switch.
Sorry. Apologies, trying to get this presentation. It was, but it was just displaying my background. It wasn't actually presenting. Sorry. Yeah, I was just plugging in. I thought it would just display. Maybe I need Wi-Fi. Shouldn't need Wi-Fi.
No. Can we close this for a second? Just see what.
Yeah. Close. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's the second monitor or something. I think it's worked before.
Yeah, it was just working just now, I thought.
Right. Maybe it's that second display. Only show on one, maybe. Smart. There we go. No, that's, it's right here. There we go.
Now, I think if you, hit that, then it should.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Z.
All right. We good to
Good
proceed?
evening.
Good evening.
Go right ahead.
My name is Josh Williams. I'm a civil engineer with Kimley Horn. I'm here on behalf of Simon CRE. They're looking to replat the landings of Portage previously, which was Lot 1, which covers the Target portion that was previously approved over the past couple months and year. And then Lot 2 was the out parcel portion that was undeveloped. And now that development is moving forward, they're wishing to subdivide Lot 2 into 5 individual out parcels. A little bit of the project team introduction. Simon CRE is the developer on this project. They are a national commercial. They develop nationally, and they primarily focus on commercial developments and have a ton of history across the U.S. developing a lot of retail and commercial tenants. We also are working with RKA Architects, providing the building elevations for this proposed development, and then myself with Kimley Horn and Joe Mayer, who's the project manager. A little background on the project location. This red outline is the entire property. Right now, it currently sits with the 2 lots, Lot 1 and Lot 2. Lot 1 is consisting of the previously approved plans of Target that is being built currently. And then Lot 2 is the remaining portions of the parcels. And with the development moving forward, Simon CRE is looking to subdivide Lot 2 into the 5 out parcels. A little bit of the phasing of this development, since there's been a little bit of history here. The previously approved plans in the salmon/pink, I think it's a little hard to see. Those were previously approved and are currently in construction right now. The areas in blue are a part of the Lot 2 and Lot 4 that we are here requesting the replat for, as well as the additional parcels that will be future development. Here kind of just outlines the general site plan and what we are proposing with this plat amendment and the site plan site plan applications. Those will be future documents. There's Lot 2 site plan, which will consist of the majors, and this will be adjacent to the target that was previously approved. Those tenants will be Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx, PetSmart, and Five Below. There's also going to be some reserved room for future development that I believe that will be in the proposed Lot 3, a part of this subdivision plat. There also will be a part of this, we can get into it more regarding the site plan application, but there will be landscaping that was provided with the previously approved plans for Target, as well as some additional landscaping with this submission. A little bit of what those building elevations will look like with the major tenants kind of primarily focusing in. We will be requesting variances and be going to the board's zoning appeal for the building materials. We are currently applying for next BZA meeting to meet some of these. There will also be the Lot 4 site plan, which will include 2 buildings. Those are still, the tenants are still kind of being configured. Simon's still dealing with that and figuring that out, but these will be shelled commercial/retail buildings. And as soon as we kind of get more clarification on those tenants, we'll be providing that to the city once we get further information, floor plans, and architectural plans. There also will be a lot of landscaping with this. We've been working closely with staff on kind of the best possible route to kind of make this meet all the zoning codes with some of the variances that we will be requesting for the foundation plantings. Staff recommended this current landscaping plan that we have proceeded with. Again, these buildings are a shell in nature. The tenants are still unknown. So this is kind of a glimpse of what those elevations would look like. Again, this is just for the replatting of Lot 2, the primary. I think there's a couple we can discuss further, the site plans. But if staff or city has any comments regarding the replatting, happy to answer.
So we have the public hearing on this one too? All right, so I'll open up the public hearing. Is there anybody here to speak for or against the petition seeking primary plat approval? Anybody here to speak for or against the petition? Anybody here to speak for or against the petition? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Does the board have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I've got one, and this could be my familiarity with developing a project like this. What is the plan around the retention basins, the fencing, or what other material is going to go, because they're right near the parking lot?
Currently, right now, there is no proposed fencing. These were all previously approved already through the Target development. In Lot 1, these are already going to be in place and already approved. This application will just be for Lots 2 and 4 that will be utilizing those wet ponds.
To answer that, Bill, we don't typically fence around those. No.
Typically, they're curbs. That's it, yeah.
Are there any other questions from the board? Hearing none, do I have a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Tom, can you do roll?
Jim Wiseman,
Yes.
Bill Moran,
Yes.
Brent Wright,
Yeah.
Carissa Childers,
Yes.
Sam LaBoy,
Yes.
Deb Ekdahl,
Yes.
Jeremiah Montgomery,
Yes.
Victoria Vasquez,
Yes,
Alonso Garcia.
Yes.
motion carries.
For these last three, these are not public hearings. These are site plan approvals and secondary. So we could probably hear your presentation for all three of these together, and then we'll do three separate motions and approvals.
That works for me. Well, a lot of this I did cover, but kind of want to go more into detail with the actual site plan applications. Again, this was part of a larger development intended for these outlots to be created, and now with the approval of the replatting, these out parcels will be starting to get developed. Lot 2 will primarily focus on the major surrounding the target building. It'll be adjacent to it. That total project and building square footage would be 93,491 square foot. The parking was already approved, the parking lot with the target approvals. So the scope of work for Lot 2 in itself will only be the sidewalk adjacent to the front doors, the buildings, the majors themselves, and then also the loading docks in the rear. We've provided truck turn maneuverabilities to ensure that the trucks have proper access in the rear, and also have included some pedestrian striping for the curb openings for carts and that stuff. The landscaping in the parking lot was previously approved with the target approvals a couple months ago, maybe a year ago. There is additional landscaping islands it's kind of hard to see in this, but there is an additional landscape island in front of one of the ADA ramps that we are proposing improvements with. Again, this is what those buildings will look like from the front and the rear portions. And then going up north into Lot 4, those buildings there will be two buildings with Lot 4. One 10,000 square feet and one 8,400 square feet. Again, those tenants are still kind of unknown, and as we get deals start coming, those tenants will be provided and with their tenant requirements, but the shell of the building is anticipated to stay the same. There will be parking improvements to account for those businesses, as well as trash enclosures. There's 2 trash enclosures for each building. We went and discussed with staff on those possible locations to avoid visibility from US Highway 6. After a couple rounds of comments, I think we've kind of come to a common agreement on where those dumpsters are located for both reducing the visibility from US Highway 6, as well as increasing or decreasing the time of travel for those workers to get to the trash enclosure. And on top of the parking improvements, there will also be landscaping improvements to meet the city's code. I believe we've worked with staff to come up with a solution due to the nature of this site to meet those tree counts. And we've kind of been suggested with staff to work through this final landscaping plan. And again, here, kind of what the buildings will look like. Still missing those tenants, but once we get that information, that will be provided. But is there any questions from staff?
Any questions from the board? No? Okay. So we'll take these one by one. We're looking at petition S-02-26 seeking secondary plat approval. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve S02-26.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Tom, can you do roll?
Jim Wiseman,
Yes.
Bill Moran,
Yes.
Brent Wright,
Yes.
Carissa Childers,
Yes.
Sam LaBoy,
Yes.
Deb Ekdahl,
Yes.
Jeremiah Montgomery,
Yes.
Victoria Vasquez,
Yes.
Alonso Garcia.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to the next petition, SP-03-26. Is there a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion that we approve SP03-26.
There's contingencies in there.
Yeah. Can I read the contingencies? And
Please.
number one is part of the process, so we'll go to two. Conceptual floor plans are to be provided to staff upon design completion for review and approval. The next one, final architectural plans are to be provided to staff upon design completion for review and approval. And the last one would be petitioner to resolve outstanding comments from the fire department.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
I think Brent got it. Yeah. All right.
Jim Wiseman,
Yes.
Bill Moran,
Yes.
Brent Wright,
Yes.
Carissa Childers.
Yes.
Sam LaBoy,
Yes.
Deb Ekdahl,
Yes.
Jeremiah Montgomery,
Yes.
Victoria Vasquez,
Yes.
Alonso Garcia.
Yes.
Motion carries. And finally, we have petition SP-04-26 seeking site plan approval to construct a 5-unit tenant addition onto the target commercial building. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve SB-04-26 as proposed with the attached contingencies.
Those would be some of the same. Conceptual floor plans are provided to staff upon design completion and for review and approval. Final architectural plans are to be provided to staff upon design completion for review and approval. Petitioner to resolve outstanding comments with the fire department, and contingent upon revised photometric plans to be provided to staff for review and approval. I think we couldn't read these, or there were some issues. Yeah, a couple of the issues that we need to resolve, and we'll get those hammered out. So.
Thank you. We have a motion. I think I heard a second on this side from Jim. We have a motion and a second. Tom, can you please read roll? Brent, motion first to move, and Jim, second. Jim.
Jim Wiseman,
Yes.
Bill Moran,
Yes.
Brent Wright,
Yes.
Carissa Childers,
Yes.
Sam LaBoy,
Yes.
Deb Ekdahl,
Yes.
Jeremiah Montgomery,
Yes.
Victoria Vasquez,
Yes.
Alonso Garcia.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second, all in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you.